Hello, I'm Oscar Crawford of Lumina and Oscar on Instagram. Today, I want to talk to you a bit about the work we're going to be doing there and also doing on a blog and a YouTube channel of the same name. What Lumina and I are going to be working on is helping people wake up to love, that they might have more loving and productive relationships, that people might be more effective in their coming together and being able to maintain their relationships, feel good about who they are in them, and help each other become an us over against two people who just happen to be connected. We want to try and teach people how to get to the us of relationship. If you can get to the us of relationship, your relationships will sustain and work through time. All right, now let me give you a bit about us quickly. Um, Lumina may be the most loving person I've ever met, ever. Um, I've covered half the world and I've met a number of loving people, but I literally believe she excels them all. She has a heart so big for people that I'm blown away. And I believe that I'm one of the most loving people I've ever met. And I do believe that that's true, but her love exceeds mine. Just I'm in awe of her and the way she loves. As a professional, she is a consultant to corporations, entrepreneurs, and creatives. She spends her life trying to help people find ways to become more loving and productive in their relationships, both personally and professionally. I have seen her go to lengths to develop material that would reach people and help them wake up, that will help them to become who they want to be. Maybe the most incredible soul I've ever met. Really, really quite a beautiful woman, beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. I hope, if nothing else, as you begin to observe our work together, you take time to get to know her. She will be worth your getting to know. What I have done for 40 years of my adult life is to serve in capacities of ministry, um, primarily in the Midwest. South some. I started off my career in Kentucky and moved to Ohio, and then it's been around the country and a number of places around the world. I actually preached my first sermon on the island of Crete, way back before many of you were born. Um, but I love the work. It helped me to meet many people I would never otherwise met. And one of the things that I discovered is that people all over the world live with disappointment in one form or another. One of the things that I've learned in my own work is that too many women have suffered childhood sexual and domestic abuse, and so they carry that wound for a long time, for long periods in their life, until they reach their mid-30s and begin to ask themselves, "I wonder if what happened to me affects the way I am able to manage my life." And the answer to that question is always yes. And so I have been working with women 35 and older for a very long time who are just beginning to ask themselves that question. Did what happened to me as a child affect the way I am being an adult? And I'm suggesting to you again that the answer to that is always yes. Teaching people how to live with disappointment is going to do one of two things. It's either going to make people very loving or very bitter. And you've met people all your life. You know, people tend to be one or the other. They're very loving, very kind, or kind of bitter and indifferent. And so the work Lumen and I are going to be doing is to always work towards helping people heal through what we're going to be calling our sacred soul teaching. Now, this week, we're going to be focused on everyday um, love and light. I know you've probably seen people in their post with love and light. And love and light tends to be the sharing of people who really do have a sense of themselves as walking and living in love and light. Now, love is a revelation, generally to another that we feel like we've developed some strong feelings for and want to share that with them, or they've done that with us. Love really is a condition of total acceptance of someone as long as they're not harming you. When people fall in love, they grow in love, they discover some things that they don't like about the person they've been in love with all the time, but they are able to weather that because they love the person more than they dislike the part of the person that they don't like. I hope that makes sense to you. Lumina and I both work with people on that. We want to help people understand that most of the things that hurt us are things that we've carried way too long. Like I grew up with some abuse from my parents growing up. They were brutal in the name of religion and thinking that that's what God wanted them to do with their oldest son. And so I left home as quickly as I could. But what I didn't realize, leaving home was not going to help me leave behind what happened. That still went with me. And so all of the influence of that behavior on my life, it would take me a number of years before I would begin to wake up and begin to heal from it. And as I did, I knew that I didn't want people to have to live with disappointment and pain all of their lives. And so I now have a partner who's working with me. We want to help people heal from those kinds of things so that they can get on with living a more loving and productive life, both personally and professionally. Now, we know that personal relationships and professional ones are different. They function at another level. Professional relationships are premised upon business, and personal relationships are premised upon care and love and connection. So we want to speak to a number of those kinds of things as we work together. So love is an experience. It's a condition. It is a revelation. It's a real vibrant and alive um, energy that says to us, I I somehow feel better about myself when I am in the presence of this person. Yeah, that happens. I mean, there's some people in my Lumina's one of them. When I'm in Lumina's presence, I'm feeling like um, my IQ maybe went up 40 points, right? Or my confidence level went higher. And she brings that out of me and declares that I bring it out of her. So in our collaborating and getting to know each other and working together, we've discovered some really good ways that we just naturally seem to empower and liberate people to become their best selves. I hope you can hear that. All right. So when we talk about light, basically the condition of light is everybody understands. It's when you go in your house and turn the switch on by your door and the light comes on. Well, for others, it might be lighting a fire where they live because everybody doesn't live the same way. Some people get their light by fire. Most of us get light by when the sun comes up. And so we have this notion in our mind that because we can see clearly around us, that the light is a good thing. And it is a good thing. It's not everything, but it is a good thing. Light is a good thing. So when we apply light to learning, to enhancing our awareness of ourself and the world, we begin to learn more and more about how to interact and engage with other people. So as Lumina does this with corporations, she's focusing on how to help them be more effective as an individual and part of a team. And we have to all learn that. Do you understand that in all of the relationships we are involved in from the cradle to the grave, we get absolutely no training? Nobody trains us for relationships and just assume that we're going to grow up knowing exactly everything that we need to know. All right, so light is helping people become aware of themselves, helping people become aware of life and the activity that facilitates life. It's like planting a garden. When you plant a garden, you plant seeds, whether it's corn or green beans, watermelon, some other ground level fruit, potatoes. You don't expect them to just grow up immediately. You expect as they begin to get saturated in the ground and their roots go down, the roots grow down and the plant grows up. And so in doing so, it's affected by the light, the engagement of the light with a plant. Man, it helps us clearly understand that the energy from the sun is where we get all of our energy, even inside our biology. I hope you can hear that. The more we can understand about how our body uses energy and how we get energy from food, the healthier we will become. I believe that. All right, so light is the medium through which we learn, which we come online, as it were, when we awaken, when we become more aware of life as it really is for ourselves and others and life itself. Life and light and love are all energies. They're all energies that we have the privilege to engage in our best interests. Okay, so in our conversations about love and light, I may have said to you already, but some people sign off their posts with love and light, which is a blessing to everybody who's reading it. And people want to sign off in a good way to saying they wish us love and light. They wish us to experience love and live in light. So those are the kinds of things that we're going to be focused on this week. And starting tomorrow, we're going to be focused on love's awakening. right? We want to help you know that you are worthy of love simply because you exist. How about that? Now, I don't know what your experience has been with love so far in your life. There are some people who've literally never been loved or experienced love. They may have experienced kindness, but their family may not have known how to love. And so if the adults in your life who are your parents or grandparents or extended family, if they know nothing about love, they cannot give you what they do not possess. And even though it could have been emotionally damaging to you or emotionally wounding to you growing up, once you are aware that they were doing the best for you that they knew how, it takes all of the evil connotations off of it and some of the pain. Now we still have to work through the pain because it's ours. We've taken it on and held on to it. I should give you this already. Some people don't have an identity unless it's premised in their pain. And if you want to love them enough to try and help relieve them or heal them of their pain, they may want to fight you because that is the only way that they know who they are. I hope you can hear that. All right. So the blog that we'll create for tomorrow, it will be called The Power of Presence in Loving Relationships. Do you understand that people who don't feel like anybody cares about them would give anything for somebody just to be present with them for a moment and demonstrate that they are important to them, if just for a fleeting moment? What would it feel like to you if nobody ever cared about you as a child or as an adult or a senior adult? We want to believe that somebody's invested in loving us enough that they will care about us and sometimes occasionally show us that they care about us. All right, on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about your light is medicine for the world. So, what is in you can benefit a number of people. We don't all know the same things. We don't all have the same light, though the light informs us, right? Love reveals the energy that we want to do to connect with each other. Light reveals information that we need to live the best life that we can. Okay, and Wednesday, we're going to be talking about sacred union. Together, we create miracles with our love. You ever love somebody to the point it felt like magic? Yeah. Sometimes when Lumina and I are talking, and the love language gets to be so evolved that it feels miraculous. How is it that we have come so far and never had this experience before? That's a good question. I mean, we're talking, most of us want to love somebody and have somebody love us, but it's as if we just don't have all the pieces together to be ready. And that is the biggest cue. You want to be ready for love. You can't wait around and sit for somebody to come say, "Hey, I love you." That may or may not happen, and they may or not know how to love as well as you do. So the biggest thing we can do in our life is prepare for love. If we prepare for love, then love can begin to have opportunity to happen. All right. On Thursday, we're going to be talking about the dance of trust. Trust is love in action. Trust is love in action. Now, what trust generally means is that if you're involved with someone, if you are involved with someone and you all have commitments, you have shared commitments, you've committed to each other certain things to be together. And should you have to be apart for a period of time, you trust in each other enough that you believe that the other one won't do anything that will be harmful to your relationship. That's deep trust, and trust is a very precious commodity, especially it seems in this first quarter of the 21st century. All right, and Friday we're going to talk about gratitude as worship. Gratitude turns ordinary love into extraordinary grace. Now, maybe you've had some information about what grace really is. Grace says, even though you've hurt me, I won't stop loving you. That's grace. And when somebody shows you grace, you will probably know you're not worthy of it. Grace is something which you can't work for. It has to be born of the person who offers it to us. If you've ever forgiven somebody for a wrong that they did to you, then you did a good thing by offering them grace. Grace says, I'm not going to stop loving you just because you did me wrong. All right. So those are the primary week's activities for this week, the things that we're going to be posting. And we'll probably have some conversation maybe Saturday or the following Sunday, where we'll ask you to reflect on if you learned anything from what we're sharing. And you're free to talk to us about what you'd like us to speak to. Lumina and I are extremely literate, extremely informed, educated, and experienced. Our knowledge base is extensive. Now, that doesn't mean we think we know everything. We're not saying that at all. But we're saying that our experience and our education has prepared us to be able to share at another level. So we invite you to our site, Lumina and Oscar on Instagram. We invite your follows, your likes, your shares. If we can be of benefit to you in your personal development, your spiritual development, or your growth, to us, we know some things. Thank you for joining me today on behalf of Lumina and Oscar. And we'll talk to you again real soon.